You don't need a massive windfall to change your future. You need the right, small, consistent shifts. Here's the math on how tiny changes turn into massive outcomes. Most people misunderstand wealth building. They assume it's about sudden breakthroughs, higher salaries, lucky investments, or unexpected gains. But real financial transformation rarely comes from dramatic moments. It comes from subtle, repeatable behavior changes that feel almost too small to matter in the moment. The truth is, your financial future is being shaped by decisions so routine you barely notice them. A few dollars saved here, a habit adjusted there, a delay in impulse spending. These are the real building blocks of long-term wealth. The concept of improving by just 1% each day sounds insignificant, but mathematically, it compounds into something extraordinary. If you improve a financial habit like saving, investing, or avoiding unnecessary expenses by just 1% consistently, the growth curve is exponential rather than linear. Most people think in straight lines: earn more, save more, spend less. But financial growth doesn't behave that way when consistency enters the equation. It compounds. For example, saving an extra $5 per day doesn't feel life-changing. It feels like skipping a coffee or two. But over a year, that's over $1,800. Invested consistently over decades, that becomes tens or even hundreds of thousands depending on returns. The key is not the amount, it's the repetition. Wealth is built in cycles, not single actions. Each small improvement builds a stronger financial foundation that supports the next improvement, creating momentum that becomes increasingly difficult to stop. Before you can build wealth through small improvements, you have to identify the silent leaks draining your money. Most people don't lose money through one catastrophic decision. They lose it through dozens of unnoticed habits. Subscription creep, convenience spending, emotional purchases, and lifestyle inflation are the usual suspects. Individually, each feels harmless. Together, they form a constant drain on your financial progress. The key shift is awareness. When you track your spending with intention, patterns emerge that were previously invisible. You begin to see that it's not income that's limiting growth's leakage. Closing even one or two of these leaks can free up hundreds of dollars per month without increasing your income at all. That freed capital becomes the fuel for savings, investing, or debt reduction. The compounding effect doesn't start with earning more. It starts with stopping the unnecessary loss. Time is the most powerful variable in wealth building, yet it's the one most people ignore. A small financial shift made early has exponentially more impact than a large shift made late. This is because compound growth accelerates over time. Money invested in your 20s behaves dramatically differently than money invested in your 40s, even if the contributions are smaller. This is where the 1% better philosophy becomes critical. A small decision like investing $100 a month instead of delaying until you make more can result in vastly different outcomes over 20 or 30 years. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to work. The mistake most people make is waiting for the perfect moment, which never arrives. The real advantage isn't timing the market. It's maximizing time in the market. Motivation is unreliable, but systems are consistent. If your financial progress depends on feeling motivated, it will always be unstable. Small shifts become powerful when they are embedded into systems: automatic transfers, budget rules, spending thresholds, and recurring investment plans. These systems remove decision fatigue and enforce discipline without requiring constant willpower. For example, automating even a small percentage of your income into savings ensures progress happens regardless of your mood or spending habits. Over time, this creates a pay-yourself-first structure that prioritizes wealth building before lifestyle spending. The transformation here is subtle but powerful. You stop trying to be disciplined and instead build a structure that makes discipline unnecessary. That's where long-term financial consistency becomes sustainable. At some point, financial growth stops being about tactics and becomes about identity. You start to see yourself not as someone trying to save money, but as someone who naturally builds wealth through consistent behavior. This shift matters more than any spreadsheet or budgeting app. When small improvements become part of your identity, they stop feeling like effort. You don't debate whether to save or invest, you just do it. You don't question whether to avoid unnecessary spending, it becomes automatic. The compounding effect is no longer just financial. It becomes behavioral. And once behavior locks in, results follow. Over time, these 1% shifts stack so consistently that what once felt small becomes the reason your financial position looks entirely different from where you started. If this helped, like and subscribe to The Daily Yield, because we are making real financial progress, one step at a time.